Hey you guys, it's Britt. I'm back here today doing Brittany's book review number 3. Today we will be doing Conspiracy. Peter Thiel, Hulk Hogan, Gawker, and the Anatomy of Intrigue. This book is by Ryan Holiday, the best-selling author of Trust Me, I'm Lying, Obstacle is the Way, and Ego is the Enemy. This book was published by Portfolio Penguin. It is 295 pages. This is a nonfiction story. It took me about 4 days to read. I actually got this book as a gift for Valentine's Day by Dave. I love it. My overall impression of this book, I really liked this book. I will give it about a 3.7 stars. Now, if you've seen some of my other book reviews, you may have seen that the ratings have been a little higher. I think that could in part be due to my personal bias. I'm typically used to reading more business, financial books where it's kind of a lot of information, some really nitty-gritty stuff. This was more of a nonfiction story, which I really loved. It definitely had some great lessons, but you know, it's not really what I'm used to reading. I really like truthful books. You know, I don't really care about fairy tales and fake stories. And be sure to stick around till the end of the video. We're going to go over some conspiracies that you've probably never heard before. A statement about the author. So Ryan Holiday, he is the author of this book. This was actually my first introduction to books by him. I have a lot of his other books on my list of books that I want to read, some on my bookshelf like Ego is the Enemy and The Obstacle is the Way. I have not gotten to them yet, but I got a nice little intro to him here. Usually you'll find a lot of the authors that I read, I really know their whole story. I know all about them. I read tons of books by them. So it's kind of rare that this is my first one by him, that I haven't really heard of him before this book. A great deal of the author's thesis and some summary of the main points of this book. This book had a lot to do with integrity and morals, which of course I really love because I have a strong moral compass myself. So me and Peter Thiel, we have that in common. Basically, a lot of what this book was like, there was this news media, and it's called Gawker media. Basically, what they would do is they would just hate on very successful people. Their whole industry was based on dirt and uncovering horrible things. So they had sex scandals about people. They had sex tapes. They would set people up for all these horrible things, and they would just air their dirty laundry. True, untrue, it didn't matter. The more successful, they're basically just using people as clickbait to build a business off it, while these people are really just petty, jealous haters. They weren't very successful. They didn't have very much going for them. It's kind of like a gang of cyber bullies. So they were doing a lot of damage in Silicon Valley where this book was going on. Peter Thiel was the target of this. He was a gay man. He was a billionaire. He lived more of a private life until, of course, Gawker Media aired out his dirty laundry that he was gay. Then once they aired it out, tons of other media industries just jumped on this as well. And pretty soon he was a target and everyone was calling him gay. He really did not like this. You can't just call people gay, especially when you're messing with billionaires. He basically decided to take down the entire corporation.
That feels really powerful.
And that is how Conspiracy got started. Basically, some key points of this book are money is power, as in Peter Thiel was a billionaire, which is why he was able to take down such a huge, strong corporation, because he's a billionaire. He has way more money, so that's a small little fish to him. You're going to want to watch who you mess with. You really shouldn't be messing with anyone, but you'll be surprised who you are messing with and the power. So my evaluation of the strengths and weaknesses of this book. Some of the strengths were that it was a very easy read. Like I said, this book took me about 4 days to read. A lot of people like that, especially if you're newer to books and you want an easy read. That can be nice. It's also nice because it didn't use too much brain power, where a lot of the business books I'm reading, you know, they're investing, they're numbers, they're a lot to take in. This book, I could read it at night, before bed, and it's fine. At times, I must say, this book did feel a little longer than what I'm used to, probably again just because I'm not used to this style of reading so much. Sometimes it got a little into the legal, which was nice, but a little long, a little dragged out for me at times. So now I'm just going to get into some of the book notes. Some quotes of this book that I really liked are, "Actions have consequences. Fair or unfair, that not everything can be solved with apologies and spankings." Also, this book talked about what is good still good if it watches evil being done and it does nothing about it? Or is that evil too? Some food for thought. Peter Thiel asked himself that question. Also, you can't just exact revenge at no cost to yourself. Be sure to remember that one. There's always a cost. For Thiel, the unintended consequences were there and they were not cheap. But there was also success. Peter Thiel got a lot of attention, actually a lot more negative attention due to this, as well as positive attention. He got a lot more media attention, which is actually what he was fighting against in the first place. So that backfired a little bit. However, he did end up taking out this media company and winning in the end. Hulk Hogan was a big part of this book. Hulk Hogan actually was set up by his best friend to do a sex scandal. It was videotaped and recorded and then broadcasted on Gawker Media, of course. So he lost everything, his wife, his life. He had such a great reputation, all just shot to shit. So Thiel basically backed him up in taking this all the way to the end. Thiel was setting up a whole conspiracy on the sidelines in secret for years. He was building attention and getting the right people and waiting in the bushes for the right moment to pounce. Hulk Hogan was his guy. Basically, then they were trying to pay Hulk Hogan off. If you just settle this for 10 million, it'll all be fine. Now, a lot of people would take that. But Peter Thiel, being a billionaire, was not going to allow him to take it. He didn't have to do it for the money because he had a billionaire backing him up, which is a lot more money and power. Also, you have to be careful with things like this. You're going to want to plan even until after the end. You think it's the end when Gawker gets taken out, right? Nope, it's not. There's still way more to come. Pretty soon it all got out, and Thiel was viewed as a victim, right? But then, when he turned the tables on Gawker, he was suddenly a bully, just like that. In the eyes of the public, you can go from being a victim to a bully. The tables can turn very fast in a game like this. Contribution or bias of this book. Like I said, I had a lot of good contributions that I really like and agree with. My only personal bias was that it's not something, my favorite type of book or what I'm used to reading. So that's probably why my rating was a little down from other ones I have read before. Evidence of why I may feel this way and a little biased towards this book over other ones? Well, I kind of read a lot of business books. My final assessment of this book was that it was a great read. I really liked it. If you don't want to read it yourself, you can always hit me up for the best Cliff Notes in town. Holla at your girl. If you're a conspiracy theorist like me, you'll be sure to like this one. Another quote I liked from this book was, "If you want a different world, you have to make it so." Basically, you can't just sit around and do nothing. If you want change, sometimes you have to do it. How about that? It will not be easy to do. It may even require things that you are reluctant to consider. It always has. Moreover, that it is your obligation, if you are called to a higher task, to do what it takes to see it through. That's how Peter felt, that this was his calling. Gawker Media has ruined so many lives, but most people don't have the means to do something about it. Most people, they just can't. But Peter Thiel, he can. When you have billions of dollars, you have power. You have control. Peter Thiel was a philanthropist. I really like that about him. That's a great quality to have. He's a really good guy. He's the inventor of PayPal. He also, ironically, after this book, went on to support Trump in his campaign, which is funny. A lot of people thought that was ironic because Peter Thiel doesn't like bullies, and some people view Trump to be a bully. So it was kind of ironic that directly after this, he went on to fund Trump. Very interesting. Billionaires. They're crazy guys. Peter Thiel also worked with Elon Musk. I really like him, so these are my dudes. My overall impression, again, this wasn't my all-time favorite book, but I really did like the book. It had a lot of valuable lessons, and it's something I really vibe with. So, any recommendations? Well, be a good person. Basically, if you have a company, you can't build it based off lies, negativity, drama, hate. That's just not going to succeed in the long run. You may win the battle. That was a very successful media company. They had a lot of money. They've won a lot of battles. But eventually, you're going to piss off enough people. Eventually, it will catch up to you. You got to build value. True, good, lasting value. Gawker was sent to bankruptcy. He was taken out, annihilated. Yeah. Don't think you can fuck people over without consequences, because karma is a bitch, and she is very real. And there are people out there to help make sure you will receive your karma. All right, so now after extensive research on my part, I'm gonna go over just a few more conspiracies just to get your mind working. You can tell me what you think about these in the comments below. Is 9/11 really what you think? Are aliens actually real? Are vaccines really what you think they are? Is healthcare really sick care? Did I just see Bigfoot last night? Did we really land on the moon? Is the earth round or flat? Are the Illuminati really reptilian aliens controlling the human race by exploitation? Are there human clones? Did Barbara Streisand really get her dog cloned? When they recommend circumcision, are they being truthful in what they tell you? Is public education the road to being an educated slave? Is Tupac still alive? Do we have the cure to cancer and AIDS? Can we have free energy via the sun and the ether? Are they covering up the gender wage gap? Is there a gender wage gap? Are women and blacks really treated equally in our legal system and society? Is war really just killing people for oil? Are religions really just another way to brainwash the masses into corruption? Is the NBA draft fixed? Are AIDS and crack really bioweapons? Have communists poisoned the water with fluoride for the past 50 years to gain control over your mind and the ability to think for yourself? Did the conglomerates who own the record industry promote gangster rap as a way to encourage violence to benefit their bottom line? If kids equals tax money and slaves, is that the reason why abortions are now becoming illegal? Are we sliding into communism? Do towers control the weather? Is global warming a scam? Are hallucinogens illegal due to a war on consciousness? Did they kill Marilyn Monroe, Nipsey Hussle, Martin Luther King Jr., Robert Kennedy, Wilhelm Reich, Nikola Tesla, Aaliyah, and Michael Jackson? Is the food pyramid even accurate? Can the CIA do mind control? Did Stephen King kill John Lennon from the Beatles? Did the government orchestrate and stage Sandy Hook, Aurora, and the Boston Marathon bombings? Are all conspiracy theories connected? Is conspiracy theory a hoax gone wrong or a hoax gone right? Is time travel possible at the tip of Long Island? Did Bill Clinton kill 50 people? And am I going to be 51? Are recessions deliberately created by the Federal Reserve to steal from the poor and middle class? Is Snapple owned by the KKK? Do brokers have your best interest at heart or their own? Are vaccines really what you've been told? Is 5G the biggest experiment on humanity? Were mental institutes and psych wards really just giant human experiments? And finally, are conspiracy theorists really conspiracy realists? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I can't wait to read your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you liked it. Be sure if you like this content or you have any other ideas, anything you want to hear, let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you've read this book. Let me know your thoughts. If you want the book notes, holla at your girl. Thank you so much.